You said, well, it's not extraordinary evidence, and you say it's not textual evidence isn't extraordinary, but I say it is extraordinary. It's a totally subjective criterion. You can make extraordinary mean anything you want it to mean, and then dismiss any type of evidence you want to dismiss. That's why modern philosophers, do not use ECRI, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, because it's a totally subjective method of assessing evidence. I say that kind of textual evidence, which is multiply attested within over 5 books, that is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, 1 Corinthians, is extraordinary evidence. You say, well, we can't accept it because it's textual evidence, but that seems totally arbitrary. Why can't we accept it because it's textual evidence? There's no real reason. It's a non sequitur. There's no connection between your premise, its textual evidence, and conclusion. Therefore, it's not sufficient.
Are you done?
Yes, I am.
If you find that that is exceptional evidence sufficient to justify it, then that's your issue. If that's what you find sufficient to justify belief, there's nothing I could possibly say to respond to that. I find that insufficient, and I cannot begin to fathom how people could really find that sufficient.
Could I respond? And now you say, well, I find this sufficient. You don't. So are you acknowledging that objectively atheism is not the most reasonable? It will depend on the person.
No.
You're acknowledging.
First of all,
you said it's subjective.
Hang on. First of all, what does atheism have to do with this? This is a rejection of specific claims in the Bible we're talking about, which says nothing at all about atheism.
Okay.
By the way, Jews reject this, and so does everybody who's not a frickin' Christian.
But you're saying that denial of Christianity is not objectively the most reasonable position. It's only subjective, dependent on what one's standards are. Right?
And each individual determines what their standards of evidence are.
Could I ask you why you're on this show preaching that atheism or that denial of the resurrection is very reasonable, and that people who accept it are irrational? Because that's what I've heard from your side, and I just want you to acknowledge that denial of Christianity is not objectively the most rational position.
I have no reason to comment on what is objectively. When I'm on the show and I talk about the issues that I talk about, I'm expressing what my views are, giving my reasons. When people call in, I ask them, please tell me what you believe and why. And we can then have a discussion, because you can, if your evidence is sufficient to justify your belief, then convince me as well. And if I find that your evidence is lacking, then I'm not going to be convinced. Now, whether or not you're getting on sketchy ground when you start talking about subjective evidence versus objective evidence, because there's a number of different ways that you can look at this. What I'm talking about is whether I am not only convinced that my standards of evidence are sufficient to weeding out what is true from what is false, that they are, for the most part, as good as I've been able to discover at doing this particular job. There's a reason why the scientific method requires certain things. Now, there's still an aspect of subjectivity even there, because you, for example, could, and I have no idea if you do, reject the scientific evidence for evolution or Big Bang cosmology or whatever. I have no idea if you do or not. I'm not trying to put words into your mouth. But that is your particular assessment of the evidence. However, working in conjunction, we have established recognized standards by which we make determinations. And those standards, while they would be perhaps subjective in the sense that there is a group of individuals who are debating about what standards should apply and then establishing them, at the point at which they have become established, then they're objective, because they're no longer dependent on any individual.
I just want to clarify, first of all, I do wholeheartedly accept evolution. I do not deny that at all, and the Big Bang, of course. And second of all, you said, well, we have but you said we have recognized standards by which we judge the evidence.
Right.
So, now, don't apply the scientific method to history, because
I wouldn't.
Okay. So, I'm just going to ask you, which historical standard that is recognized by a consensus of historians states that textual evidence is not sufficient to establish miracles? Which historical standard? Citation, please.
I have no idea. Is there a historical standard that says textual citations of miracles is sufficient to say that they occurred?
But you were citing specifically your denial of miracles and objectively reasonable using standard historical standards, and I'd say William Lane Craig in particular cites 6 criteria for assessing historical evidence, which are accepted by mainstream historians, which the resurrection passes with flying colors.
No. Historical standards aren't. You're saying that there are historical standards
like historical method
that would confirm, that would state that textual reports of miracles is sufficient to believe that the miracles occurred.
I think that's a corollary of the fact that there are mainstream respected historians who accept the resurrection.
Are you going to answer the question or not?
You say,
are there historical standards that would state that textual reports of miracles are sufficient to accept that the miracles occurred?
Okay, and here, I think you're the one who has to say that there are historical standards which exclude that, because I'm not the one being excluded.
No, I don't, because my historical standards exclude that, and I'm unaware of any historical standards that would include it. I'm asking you to give me an example of one that does include it, because that's the only way that and by the way, actually, that wouldn't make a bit of difference, but I want to know if such a standard exists, because I'd like to have the rest of the historical community explain this to me as to how this one particular standard could ever say, oh, it's reported in a book and there's a number of different reports about it. In the book itself, we can probably say that it was authored around this time by this person, therefore zombies got up out of the grave and walked into Jerusalem.
Well, you asked for a specific historical standard, and sure, I'll give you one.
Okay.
William Lane Craig cites 2 historical standards which are accepted by the mainstream of historians, and you can see it's from a book called The Historical Method, which is not written by William Lane Craig, it's just him citing it, and it's 2 of the main standards are explanatory power and explanatory scope. And mainstream historians, credentialed, respected historians, like N.T. Wright, Craig Evans, etc., will use these criteria to establish a miracle. So because mainstream historians
sorry, they don't. They don't use the standards to establish a miracle. They use the standards to establish that they think that the text is reliable, and then they assert that the miracle occurred. You cannot demonstrate that a miracle occurred without actual evidence of it. Text alone is not sufficient.
You just stated that you wanted a standard used by mainstream historians.
Yeah, and you gave me William Lane Craig quoting 2 criteria.
I gave you mainstream historians like N.T. Wright, who is respected by people as far left as the Jesus Seminar, who uses these criteria to establish a miraculous event. I don't see how this is not fulfilling your criterion. Hello?
Wow. You're giving me names of people who accept that text reports of miracles are sufficient.
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking for.
That's what you wanted, though.
No, I want a historical standard, not something that a few people or a couple of recognized scholars happen to think is the case. I want a standard, and I want a standard that is a matter of consensus.
Sure. Okay. Explanatory power, explanatory scope. Now,
but you can stop actually, because it doesn't matter. If there was the Princeton Guidelines for Historical Review that was a consensus report of all of the historians, or 90% of the historians on the planet, and this guideline said that if there is a textual report in antiquity that, despite whether or not we know who the authorship is, attests to the actual occurrence of a miracle, it is therefore considered historically reliable that the miracle occurred, I would still reject that.
So, like a creationist is willing to go against scientific consensus, you're willing to go against historical consensus, right?
Yes, because history isn't science, as you admitted earlier.
Well, actually, history is a soft science technically, but I'm not going to go major on that. It's just a technicality, really. But so basically, you're saying
any science that asserts that miracle claims are justified based on somebody said so is not a science.
So I have a question. You said you basically are implying that science is the only informer of truth. I get claims of miracles from...
No.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that the scientific method, the exercise of logic, reason, and evidentiary standards is the single most consistently reliable method we have for discerning truth from fiction. Nothing else has ever been demonstrated to do better.
Great.
You can't win. You can't win with original sin.